Hi, my name is Thomas Diviesti, and on this video I'm gonna make a little mix breakdown of a song that I recently posted demoing Neural DSP's Archetype Nolly. This is how it sounds. For the drums, I am using GGD's One Kid Wonder Metal, which is a mix library, so you don't need to do much to them. I am just adding a bit of EQ to the kick, adding a bit of click, and removing some harshness from the cymbals. This is how they sound on their own. For the main rhythm guitars, I am using this preset, Rhythm 5. I am using Overdrive 2, boosting Amp 3, which is like a 5150 based amplifier. And I am using the white cab with a 57, which sounds really good. And as far as post-processing goes, adding a bit of 6K to make it sound better in the mix and notching some of the harsher frequencies and a high-pass filter. I am also using a bit of multiband compression to tame the chugs. In this section, for example, you can see that the multiband is compressing that area. For the clean guitars, I'm using this preset I made, sounds a bit like a piezo. I'm using the compressor, the clean amplifier, and most importantly the carb is turned off. And then I'm also using a bit of reverb and delays to give it some ambience. Like the main distorted guitars, I'm just polishing the tone a bit. This is how they sound on their own. For the bass, I am also using Archetype Nolly. We have a main distorted bass tone which sounds like this. Amp 3 again with again the white cab, but this time I'm using a ribbon microphone, and I'm also boosting the amplifier with Overdrive 2. I also have a clean bass tone when the clean guitars come in. I'm dividing the bass in two tracks. The first track being the amp track, which I'm high passing, and the second one is the raw DI track, which I'm low passing. And I am also using a bit of compression and limiter to make it sound really consistent. On the bass soundtrack, I'm adding more EQ to make it sound a bit cleaner and polished, notching out some of the harsher frequencies, sidechaining to the kick, so every time the kick hits, the low end of the bass get compressed so that you get a bit more space for the kick. Again, a bit of EQ, this is a free plugin by Analog Obsession. Then we also have some layer guitars like these ones on this section here. This is the preset I'm using for this tone. Bit of compression, delay 1, which is in front of the amplifier so the repetitions will get distorted and saturated. I'm using the second amp, which is like a Marshall, I think a Marshall style amp. And I am using the same cab as before, removing a lot of the resonant mid-range and notching some of the harsh frequencies. For the guitar solo here, I'm using this preset, using Overdrive 1, boosting again Amp 3, the same cab as before, and a bit of reverb and delay to give it some extra ambience. I'm just using a bit of EQ to make it sound better in the mix. I also have a synthesizer here, which is a stock Logic synth, which sounds like this. You might have noticed that all the tracks are going to this thrash parallel bass, which sound like this. I am basically saturating it, and I'm also using some sample delay to make it like almost double tracked. I found that making this parallel thrash bass is gonna make the mix a bit wider and have a bit more life and energy to it. And finally, for my master bass, I am notching a bit of the ringing harsh frequencies. I'm also using this free plugin by Analog Obsession called Fiverr and giving it a bit of a high shelf and a bit of extra low end. I am also using this compressor again by Analog Obsession. I am also using some limiting to make it sit in place. That's basically all I did. Lots of the stuff I did was done by ear. I don't have like a super theoretical knowledge of mixing, but it sounds good to me. If you like this video, you can subscribe, like, and all that kinds of stuff. And yeah, see you next time.